Hey, David with the Freeze Dried Business Channel. If you have been impacted by the recent TikTok ban on homemade goods that includes freeze-dried candies, I want to talk specifically to you because one, you need to know a couple things about why they may have done this because I've had experience on other platforms with this as well. And also I want to give you some encouragement about what you can do next moving forward, even though right now it feels like everything is against you and you may not know where to go next. So stick around for this video and I'll share with you those two things. So I want to talk to two different groups of people. One is if you are a freeze-dried business owner and you've been selling your products on TikTok through the TikTok shop, I want to talk to you about a couple things, but also if you haven't been selling on there, this could really shed some light on things that you might want to do differently and kind of avoid the mistakes that are happening right now and learn some things so that you can be more equipped to sell independently rather than relying on a lot of these social media sites. So what has actually happened on TikTok? What TikTok has done is just opened up their affiliate partner program as well as other ways for you to sell your freeze-dried candy if you've been selling it on there. So it's really opened up the doors for a lot of people to sell their freeze-dried products. Well, recently some news came out about TikTok's ban on homemade goods, which includes freeze-dried candies. And unfortunately, they put the kibosh on a lot of the listings and probably shut you down in terms of your ability to either access your account to put out new videos, or you've been shut out from all your listings outside of things that are not related to freeze drying. So I'm really sorry if that's happened to you. There is hope, but let's just talk about that ban for a second. There could be a couple of reasons why TikTok did this. One is we are, as a freeze-dried candy business, you're reselling and modifying trademarked and copyrighted candy. Now, is it legal? Yes. But a lot of those companies want in on the business. So TikTok is probably getting a lot of pressure from these larger companies, and that's why you might be seeing that. A couple other factors would be that if you are in violation of this policy where it says that homemade goods can't be sold, including freeze-dried candy, you might have to have a commercial kitchen or you had to go through some type of process. And so them kind of going through technology-wise using AI, they'll be able to identify whether you are a homemade freeze-dried business or you have a commercial kitchen. And I'm not personally on TikTok, so I don't know what their type of forms are to legitimize your TikTok shop of whether you're selling homemade goods or you're selling something that's through a commercial kitchen. Those are those two factors. One, the large companies are taking an eye on it and putting pressure on TikTok to make some policy changes. You might also just be violating their policy of selling homemade goods when you are not in a commercial kitchen. Let's talk about cottage food law and commercial. So, cottage food law really across every single state says that you need to sell directly to consumer and you can only sell in the state that you live in. So even with shipping, some states like Idaho, I can still ship in the state of Idaho as a cottage food operator, but I still can't sell out of state. So as a commercial business, when you have a commercial kitchen that's licensed, you can sell interstate commerce, meaning you can sell outside of your state. So when you have platforms like TikTok and Etsy and Instagram and Facebook where they provide some type of marketplace for you to ship to customers, if it's out of state and you violate that policy, they're going to shut your listings down. So for those of you that are currently in this place, unfortunately, you're going to have to prove that you are not a cottage food law operator and you are in a commercial space. That may take a lot of time. Also, it may just take a lot of time for you to get out of that kind of dark shutout period, and you may have to recreate your whole entire channel again. Back in 2020, I started my own freeze drying business. And in 2021, when we really started to accelerate our business, Etsy was just becoming very popular for listings. And in fact, I have a list that I still have to this day that there was only 22 listings of freeze-dried candy. Can you believe that? Now there's probably, I don't know, over 200 to 300, maybe even 400 pages of listings on Etsy for freeze-dried products. So I was very much at the beginning. Now, even with that, I spent a lot of time with my listings, my photos, everything like that. In about March, April of 2021, somebody on TikTok did a unwrapping of freeze-dried candy, specifically freeze-dried Jolly Ranchers, freeze-dried Skittles, and all of a sudden it just took off and we saw this huge influx of orders from Etsy. It was awesome. It was awesome to see that. Now the difference was that I had a commercial kitchen. So I was licensed under the state of Idaho, under the Idaho Central Health District, and I was able to sell intercommerce to other people that were buying from Etsy. Now, they did shut down listings for people that were selling freeze-dried Skittles as the title. Talked about freeze-dried Jolly Ranchers. You can't use those titles. Those are copyrighted. And I did a short the other day about this, but if you are using the name for a copyrighted name for Skittles, Jolly Ranchers, Charleston shoes, things like that, those companies spent a lot of time copywriting and building a brand for that, and so they will shut that down. And that is what happened on Etsy for a lot of people, is they got their listing shut down. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. I can empathize with those of you that have been impacted by TikTok in this way. Now, one of the things I've preached is that you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself when you have success starting out in your freeze-dried business. You are making a lot of money probably on TikTok. You got a whole bunch of sales. Everyone's real excited about your product and you're just seeing it overflow. And also you hit capacity and you start buying more freeze dryers. I've been at that point. I'm telling you, I have. So I can relate to that excitement where you're building up your business, but you need to kind of have a reality check. And this is a great point to kind of reset and think about why you got into this. Obviously, you're trying to make money. I am too. But two is, what's the long-term strategy for your freeze-dried business? What are you trying to achieve? And what are things that you can do that keep you from being reliant on platforms like TikTok, Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook? How can you make sure that you materialize your own customer base so that if this happens again or it happens on a different channel, that you are not at a loss and you just completely lose sales from 5,000 sales down to zero. All right, so here are some steps that you can take if you've been impacted by this TikTok ban and your listings are down, your shop, and all the videos and everything that you put forward in there. Just take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. And I know you've got other customers waiting for maybe those shipments to arrive, things like that. But follow all of the steps that TikTok is asking you to take, whether that be legal things or whether they need you to submit different listings, things like that. I would definitely comply with it, because otherwise you might be open to more legality type of things for violation of that, and you may not actually be able to get back onto TikTok and service those customers that you already have orders for. So that's number one. All right, now start thinking about how you can migrate all of your followers that you've built up during this accelerated time of sales, and think about how you can use those followers to your advantage. Do you have a website? Do you have a different marketing channel that you can funnel them through? Have you been asking for their email address? Have you been creating other types of videos where you can market them to go buy somewhere else? Start thinking of those ways to use your current followers and transition them into a way that you can market to them and sell your products. Unless TikTok is going to plan on shutting your complete page down, there are some alternatives once you actually get through all that legal thing. Well, I know this is a lengthy video, but I wanted to get this out there because just like you're probably at a loss for what to do next. Maybe you've got a lot of freeze dry, you got a lot of product, you got a lot of customers waiting for your product, and you need to be able to access all that information. Well, that's why I'm putting this out there, because I want to make sure that you know that someone can relate who has gone through something similar, maybe not on TikTok, but I have gone through it on other channels, and you can get out of this. You got to just decide what you actually want to get out of it, in that, do you want to continue the business, or do you just want to kind of close up shop and say that it was a nice run? I think it's a great way for you to learn from your mistakes and move on to something else that you can do for your freeze drying business, because there's still a lot of opportunity out there. There's still people wanting to buy candy all the time. That's what still is happening to me in my business. Now that you've made it through this whole video, do two things for me. One, hit the like button. That way I know that it was helpful for some of you and you can remain anonymous. Or number two, go ahead and hit the comment section and ask me questions, or tell me about how you've been impacted. I'd love to know kind of what this whole news and what's being impacted by everyone there. It'd be helpful for me to understand so that I can put out more video content, maybe share some advice along the way. All right, so that wraps up this video. Be well, people. We'll see you next time on the Freeze Dried Business channel. See ya.